The most terrifying experience that ever happened to me happened in January of 2013, and that was when, living in Dubai, we had a knock at the door at midnight, just to add to the drama, and it was the landlord had flown in from the UK demanding that we pay the rent that we'd fallen behind on. He gave us 48 hours to actually pull up the money, otherwise he was going to take us to the police, and in the Middle East that means you would go straight into debt jail. You know, none of this judge, jury and sort of civil court trying to work out how it can be arranged. Literally, he says, she says, you're in jail. Don't quite understand the logic in that, because how can you actually pay your debts if you're in jail? But anyway, it was a very real threat. This whole situation had eventuated because we had gone to Dubai to start a business and make our money so that we could travel the world. And of course, it didn't happen that way. I wish I had known back then what I know now, but it was the journey that I was to go on. A brick and mortar business in the Middle East, even though it's a tax-free area, means you pretty much get hit up front with a lot of expenses. And with this threat of debt jail over your head, you need to meet all of your monthly contracts. Otherwise, yeah, you're in major trouble. Thankfully, with the help of some family, we were able to clear that debt and spend the next month or so just working on how we could untangle ourselves from the situation that we found us in with this completely dead business, not worth even trying to save. Financially, we were wiped out. There were no credit cards left, no savings, and way too much pride involved to be able to ask for any more money after having just borrowed some just to pay our normal rent. It's just so embarrassing to even think that in my early 40s, like I'd gotten to that stage. It was horrific. So one of the reasons why we didn't rush back to Australia and go and get a job and try and start all over was that pride factor. I mean, it was just too embarrassing. So we just sort of figured, this online thing works if we could just get a little bit of relief of not having to, pay anything, just get a roof over our head. So we discovered house sitting as a way to do that. And it took about 6 months of kind of like, licking our wounds and trying to heal from being in Dubai for 16 months and just having this downward slide into financial devastation and a lot of emotional hurt as well. So anyway, 6 months into our house sitting and just we woke up realizing this is an amazing way to travel. Like, it actually costs so much less than living in a fixed location. This is the reason we went to the Middle East to start with, was to be able to save up enough money and make enough money and be able to travel the world. And yet it was right here on our doorstep. We could just do this anyway. We were sitting in a multi-million-dollar property in France with not enough money to get a haircut. We were cutting each other's hair with kitchen scissors. And yeah, it just sort of dawned, it's like, no, we can work this online thing out. I had previously had a taste of the internet marketing space, like how to actually use digital marketing, digital information products, to be able to sell and have marketing funnels created so that you're not actually trying to sell anything. You're literally just showing up and being of service. I'd had a taste of that, but it was almost as if I'd started on the right path and I didn't realize that there were other ways, and I kind of negated it. I kind of like just took it for granted. So I dare say that I had to have that brick and mortar business failure to have the complete contrast. I mean, I'm so grateful that it did fail, because had I been stuck in Dubai, I would have only ever been able to take short little vacations if we had have had a successful business there. So ultimately, the path that sort of takes you on is about having your own little wake-up calls to say, what is it that I really want in life? And I valued this freedom of being able to travel and be of service as a house and pet sitter, which we do not get paid for, so we definitely need to make money online somewhere, somehow. So the situation is that having nothing, like literally having your back against the wall, trying to work out where you can make enough money just to buy the groceries, because thankfully there was no bills to pay anymore, no rent or utilities, that was all covered. It put us into this sort of survival mindset, but it also, we were really driven by needing to learn as much as possible. So we would show up to every single webinar without any fear of being sold to. We had a lot of FOMO, don't worry, when there was such great opportunities, but a lot of these webinars that we decided to attend would be teaching a strategy or a pathway or a different business model, and we just absorbed all of it, like absorbed everything. We couldn't buy the offers, we couldn't take the coaching programs, we couldn't invest in our mentorship or anything. We had to work it out on our own. Now that over the long term ends up being very costly, and the habit of being in survival mode actually extended for nearly 7 years. But we just kept sort of like innovating all of these steps along the way, but never really still fully getting all of our ducks lined up, because we were doing everything on our own. And that's where the cost comes into it. And it's sort of like I'm really kicking myself that I didn't wake up to this earlier, that if I had have started to invest some of what we were making, not just into survival, but into developing the skills or getting the guidance or getting the help I needed to take me to the next level, to take that little bit of pressure off and move up out of being just in survival mode. But anyway, it finally happened. It finally happened when 2020 came around. I got to a stage where it was not possible ethically, like internally and morally, it didn't feel right to be marketing anything to do with travel, lifestyle, international house and pet sitting. So I canned everything. It was like, I can't do this. Like the whole world's gone into lockdown. I can't do this. Within about 3 weeks, one of those people that I originally started learning from way back showed up in my inbox, and I watched the webinar. I kind of was, well, I got to do something different. I watched the webinar, and it was pretty much laying out everything that I wish I had have had earlier, but I can see also that I wasn't ready for it earlier. I had become so stubborn, so independent, and so stupidly doing everything on my own, and it slowed me down, and it cost me money. It didn't physically cost the money, but it cost money by not earning more. It cost money because we were wasting so much time trying to figure stuff out on our own all the time. So this was like, you know, the heavens parting type of thing. Is like, I need to do this. I need to get help. I need to have the guidance and the stuff done for me more than anything. The stuff that I labor over, that I procrastinate over, the things like writing emails and getting copy onto a web page, just even finding the right offers and knowing how to position them, instead of spending weeks, if not months, sort of going, how do I kind of refer this or recommend, like everything being done for me. I'd had enough of experience over my time that affiliate marketing, and particularly like anything that can be done for you in the right way, was definitely a fantastic income stream to help you build other things. So yeah, I said yes to this program, the Affiliate Triad program with Jason Fladlin and Wilson Matos. And because of my experience, I guess, and because of my being of service attitude, I show up to help other people that perhaps are a few steps behind me. I remember learning years ago that the concept of being a leading learner is literally just to be a step or two ahead, meaning that everything is still fresh in your mind of what you're experiencing, so that you can turn around and offer a hand to somebody else. You're learning, you're applying, and you're teaching, all within sort of a same framework. And that's the best way for anybody to learn. I mean, if somebody out there like Jason and Wilson have got all this skill and all this knowledge, you know, it costs a lot of money to get access to them directly, but indirectly, as it sprinkles down throughout this amazing community that we're in, we find collaboration. We find where each of us get a chance to step up to be that leading learner, step into our creativity, test out different things, report back on the testing, share all the information together. And nothing like this has ever been put together in the internet marketing space or in the online space, like being able to rub shoulders with, you know, massively successful digital marketers and course creators and e-commerce sellers, right through to somebody who literally is like, what is a domain name? You know, got like this whole gambit of people. But it's powerful. It's really powerful. And even though I can look back over my shoulder and go, I wish, it's like, no, I know the path that I went on, the path that I have experienced is perfect for me, because now I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm home. It feels great. I've never had so much help and support. I'm still learning to accept it. I'm still learning to be open to receive it. You know, those stubborn survival habits are taking a long time to kind of like weed out and rush down. But I'm here to be of service. I spend more time on other people's businesses than I do my own. It's a fault, but it's something that happens. But I'm definitely moving more into accepting help myself. So there's the bells. It's time to go for the... I'm Jodie, and thank you so much for listening.